Advantages found out against ECSTATIC. Savage have already started off with a bang, but can they continue? In Vertigo, of course, this one was picked out by ECSTATIC, their own home ground. They've had a lot of great results on it recently. Tea time, joined by the man himself. That is to say, Michael Yumi Cassidy.
Yep, that's me. that's my brand apparently. But yeah, I am interested to see how ECSTATIC bounce back in a map that is clearly their home territory in that respect. We understood that Savage were going to have some edge on Inferno because of the win streak that they had. And talked about like the confidence that they'll have going into Inferno, even though they could have potentially gone a number of different ways. You know, they could have picked Ancient, Overpass, any of these other maps where they have been threatening it in that first round of vetoing the veto process, but you know, they get that surefire win, and now it puts more pressure to see if they can take it away in a 2-0 fashion, or maybe we go into that third round home or territory where both teams are going to be relatively comfortable. Of course, ECSTATIC will start on this T side, where we will look to players like Wolfie to get off to a hot start.
That's the most posh way I've ever heard you say win. Win. Indeed. Well, let's see whether or not they can get that one out over here. ECSTATIC chucking out a lot of utility early in, double nading at the sandbags to be able to then fight for alley control afterwards. But Deson's actually gone for the full flank in from T-spawn. Chauzy smokes up in front of him, and they are committing very quickly to a bit of a faster plant over here. ECSTATIC, there are 2 nades actually available. Those will be dodged out. Nicely done over here. Now the second nade will actually be doing a fair bit of damage. Dafu will be tagged down, but not brought down, so the bomb can be planted, but you still have to keep an eye out for Deson, who's still going for that flank. You
should understand that that's a possibility with the timings that Savage are trying to take, but look at the fighting now. Chauzy out in the open, players trying to cheat past the smoke as well, so they will go 1-for-1, and for now, no one's picking up that flank just yet.
Thatcher is going to be the one holding off the majority of the aggression coming in. Grox good for one, quick white swing out, and he can't adjust fast enough. Grox is there for the 2. And with Wolfie all alone, he knows that the bomb's not being defused. He's very close onto the bomb site itself. Brings down the first one straight into the smoke. He goes, finding a lot of space, but it's not going to be enough. There's just about the time necessary for Deson to get the defuse. Savage take away the pistol round.
Yeah, no one moved to honor that flank attempt there from Savage quick enough. Deson was able to get one in the back lines while they were continuing this fighting on the bomb site, and that's what made Wolfie have to basically play inside of that smoke. And even with him getting that kit diffuser off the bomb, you know, he dealt with Pleasant initially. With the Deson player so close so quickly, could very quickly get his hands on that kit and the defuse as well. So overall, well played there from Savage to just make sure that they took enough attention away from the backline's presence that Deson was offering.
Grox also had that ridiculous wide swing coming out over there as well. Yeah.
A lot of presence over towards A. They had 4 players committed here for Savage. 2 MP9s right in the face of ECSTATIC just at the start of this round. And they've already pushed so far that they need to be concerned about even just A main territory. So with the bridge control out of ECSTATIC's favor, you would almost lean them to move over towards that B-bomb site. But that's exactly what Savage will have planned for them.
I love this approach coming out over here, but they're just pre-firing this. This is beautiful. ECSTATIC knew exactly what they were trying to go for, but a lot of damage has already been dealt, so this 3 versus 4 is deceptively difficult for ECSTATIC to actually be able to close out. Deson, can he make his way over in time with his Molotov? He's still very far away, but so is the bomb from being planted. Chauzy peek out. That's aggressive, if you've ever seen it.
Oh, big kill to find as well. That's Wolfie with the bomb, so they know exactly where that package is headed. Both players close by here on the side of Savage. Still concerned about the idea of a lurker, though, for ECSTATIC, especially with Bird from Sky still in the mix. Loves to go for some of these late round or mid-round mid-pushes. Now looking to try and recover this bomb using the flashes and Molotovs to create more room.
Good timing on the Molotov. He's going to be able to get a bit more tag in. Twist puts himself onto the super box, and this is where can he actually continue to find over here. 20 seconds between rotations, basically impossible, and they should know it, but threat is still going to be transmitted. Twist, I love this repositioning from him, but he needs to be paying back a little bit more heat towards the bomb plant itself. Bird from Sky can't defend. His Galil was put away, and he can't pull it out in time. So nicely done, Savage. It gets a bit tricky there, but You know, credit out to ECSTATIC. I actually really like that spam, Michael, that they go for onto the player on top of the big box on the boost spot. It's one of the spots which, you know, if you ever see Bridge smoked up, everyone's going to be putting someone over there because it's one of the most difficult spots to actually peek into, especially if there's a Molotov being prepped up and cooked up behind, which was what Pleasant was up to.
It's a good way to play the angle as well because you're so close to that A main entrance that you actually don't get the same sort of vision that those T-side players will have if they're keeping that in the back of their minds. So they had a very good response to the aggression that Savage had to offer, but it's where things break down in the late round instead.
Can I also just point out, Michael, Wolfie's has some real foam fingers when it comes to keeping a hold on the bomb.
Wasn't his fault this time. He was very much alone.
I know. It is just a little bit comical, though, when you consider.
Yeah.
Ah, well, poor Wolfie's just lost the bomb again.
That one round on Inferno really could have been terrible.
Indeed.
And it's the AWPer, too, usually. So do you want to give the AWPer the bomb all the time? Probably not. Who else takes responsibility for that? All right, very minimal utility here for ECSTATIC to make something happen in the late round. They have at least enough smokes to clear out some of these positions. The Molotov for Wolfie almost feels destined to the sandbags if they are going to go for an A-side play. Savage aren't giving up that territory for free, though. Constantly jiggle peeking, contesting that area, and trying to take some of these early fights.
Bertram's in the meanwhile just peeking forward, but he had to adjust his aim. Crosshair is not quite where it needed to be, but Dafu's quick on the trade. Grux has also found out. Wolfie, sharp shot through that smoke, and Pleasant over here trying to make sure he can cover the alleyway up, and he's able to equalize as well as being able to back off. He's going back in for another duel. He gets a second, although traded quickly. Wolfie's been the master of said trades so far. And Dafu, well, that's a bit of an interesting one. Twist jumps out from behind the smoke, and Deson can actually cut them off in the back lines. Wolfie is very low, so he has to be careful in how he actually takes his peek forward. He's going to be navigating around completely over towards the concrete cinder blocks themselves. Wolfie can actually relocate and find, but no, Deson, in the very end of it, at the very edge of that smoke, will turn around and find Wolfie. So 5-0. Deson is somehow able to pull them through.
Great recognition of timings there from Savage. The fact that Pleasant re-aggresses towards that alley position quick enough that ECSTATIC don't expect another player to be there in time is really, really solid. Because if not for that fact, I mean, ECSTATIC had a man advantage. They got that double entry on those aggro players at a ramp. Could have been free territory to take over the site a little bit easier. So the issues Pleasant delivered in that respect. And then the heads-up play from Desert to seal it all in as well. Faster play in from ECSTATIC, not playing as deep behind those smokes. Oh, so much damage onto Bird from Sky. Just a little gap around all the utility at A ramp.
His wings have been clipped. Has anyone ever asked him in like an interview or something about the name, by the way?
I would feel that is a logical question.
Yeah.
Quite an interesting one.
It is.
Much more original than either of our aliases, so.
Hey.
Or at least mine. Fine, I'll just speak for myself.
Yeah. I stole mine from a book, sure, but at least it's a...
Nifty little Molotov to push Pleasant back, but I don't imagine he'll sit behind that.
Yeah, he's cheated fast, and now he's getting a bit more aggressive. So much spam damage, but that's going to come with a price. That price, however, might be offloaded by the fact that Grux is still here. Not expecting to have a second player there, but Manx is more than happy to compensate and then jump past a smoke twist. That's how you do it. Manx just shows him how to turn that Deson. I mean, well, he'll deny that now. Is he going to go for this? A 1-on-2 now? Spots out the first player. Repeaks into him again. Dafu could have been caught out, but not quite.
Yeah, it's about the worst case scenario there for Savage. Every player that they had on that A-bomb site, most they're able to get is one out of the 3 players that are in proximity. ECSTATIC winning a lot of those early duels. They did find Bird from Sky going for some of that mid-round lurking that he likes to go for in middle, so at least some of the scouting report pulling through for the Savage side. But it's not enough, not when Manx is just ripping heads off. Kind of a dangerous round to be getting aggressive here on the side of Savage. You don't have the most amount of resources, not the ideal weapons either. You can see ECSTATIC taking some extra liberties considering they know the economic situation of their opponents.
Oh, that's actually
noise made.
A little bit dangerous.
Cholsey's just a little too wide.
Yeah, I don't really want to be sticking around there either for too long after having made that much noise. Bad from Sky, re-peeks into it. Mac 10's going to win that one out, and Twist is now going to be looking to push them down. Unfortunately for them, they don't quite have the weaponry to do that, so we'll end up conceding another round and likely one more in the cards. Savage really suffering that lack of monetary buildup.
Yeah, a lot of really closely contested rounds, like 1 survivor, 2 survivors for the pistol as well. So all these rounds have been on the knife's edge. And now should be easier sailings. Last round from ECSTATIC was pretty well dealt with, considering that Savage went for the A-side stack, and even still, ECSTATIC got all the kills they needed to. Only lost 1 for their efforts as well. So building up some cash. This is an even bigger money-making round. Noise made from the boost as well, so they have a bit of an indicator.
Oh,
that's a cheeky nade.
I like that. Flashbang as well, just to try and cover his back, but that's not going to be covered nearly well enough. Now,
Get me out of here.
Well, you know what? Wolfie's going to have to be very careful because he's being rushed down, but man is just on a mission to find an ace. He's realized he's got 4, and now just one more. Just one more.
Nice tag. He's out of there.
Yeah.
Well, it gets a little scary. You can see Fasher just didn't want anything to do with what was coming his way. Did the smoke, wanted to escape, and just got spammed to all hell. Nice little spray transfer from Wolfie, though, to keep it all contained.
Very clean, for sure.
Back onto rifles here on the side of Savage. They do not have the AWP for Cholsey. That's not something that they'll feel the real absence of, considering the way that they were winning some of these earlier rounds was predominantly off of these rifles and the aggression.
Cholsey, however, very strong position.
Fasher's underneath him. Oh my god,
yeah, that's the big difference maker. At the very least, he able to drop the bomb initially, and yeah, that's going to be Cholsey on the sidelines. Grox, however, able to recover, and with Wolfie actually beaking into him with the Glock, that was a potential kill to come through. However, not quite going to materialize. Grox instead goes back towards the sandbags, but he's low enough that a single grenade could even knock him down.
Yeah, it's just crucial that they use some utility to clear out Grux if he plays a much more passive position, but he's actually taken the fight. Needs to be committed to the duel.
Yeah, wants to be able to call rotations over earlier on from Deson. He's also in a position where he knows that this is around the time when, you know, typically T-sides will start to get a bit more ramp control, a bit more alley control, and if that ends up happening, then you can't actually back off from sandbags safely without having to take at least one duel. So at the very least, he can do is try and, you know, come through big with one frag. But yeah, the Molotov is going to push him out. Ooh. He's actually good for one and backs off. Even a second. What?
Felt like he was never supposed to get that second kill, let alone the first. So great effort from him to make this one an advantage here for Savage. And Max isn't going to feel too comfortable.
He's committing to the bomb plant. Savage was concerned about him potentially maybe putting that one back down. Max still has a world to work with, though, when you consider that Savage don't have kits on either one of these players. I'm not certain if there is one dropped around the vicinity, but Manx now looking to peek into them. Does spot out the first player, but Twist will be able to bring it back. A one-on-one. This is... I don't know if he can actually defuse this anymore. This is going to be really close. Down to the wire it goes. Twist is going to have to make this work. Otherwise, he'll be kicking himself to all hell and beyond. And yep, it's right down to it. Oh my god. I mean, yeah, he wanted to go for the op. He settles up down for an AK in the middle because someone probably reminds him, Twist, buddy,
there's no kit for like you need to get that one defused. Yeah, that's a little scary. That's more scarier than it needed to be quite honest. But let's not let that take away from how incredibly well Grux plays in that position. You know, there were at least 3 places
where it felt like he should have gone down to faster initially. He's able to get that kill. Then he peeks out when the Molotov's coming in, gets one quick one, and then a second follow-up as well. Blessing, though, inside a Molotov, he's taking a lot of damage.
I think he saw it bloom just before the flash actually caught him, so understood that he was sitting inside of the flame, so doesn't stay there for much longer. He is still down to half, though. Not the way you want to start things, of course, but at least still alive. If this AWP for Chorzy can get engaged. We got what we wanted, you know, Wolfie, pretty hot start. Got 4 kills in an anti-eco, but has been a key piece for ECSTATIC to get a lot of these trades. Oh, God. What? Wolfie spammed him straight through the sandbag. Saves Bird from Sky from taking too much more damage. And that looked like it could have been an opening kill for Savage. Instead, it's the other way around. One of the few times we'll see ECSTATIC actually scale into the B bomb site instead. And this is a great call, considering Dezen's the only one responsible for this side of the map, and with only an MP9 in his hands.
Waiting for the peak to come through. He's wide swinging out, and Manx is down. Now wants to switch out for the AK, but Wolfie's too sharp for him. Desmond didn't really have time for that maneuver, but as a result of...
I'm a little concerned about the timings here for ECSTATIC. They are going to get at least a free plant with Fasher's advanced position.
Yeah. At the same time, if Gross actually gets his kill because Fasher looked away, Fasher looks back right on time. Oh my goodness, that could have been very difficult. You don't have any offensive utility on the CT side, otherwise this bomb would have been denied immediately. If you had an incendiary, this would have been one of those rounds where ECSTATIC look back and think, yeah, maybe overcomplicating things, but no. Man, that's right down to the wire as well. He starts planning it at that 5-second mark. Michael, oh my. This is a lot of hairline decision-making.
Yeah, okay. One of them wasn't even really necessary, right? We talked about the Savage one, but here for ECSTATIC, if there's a player that's rotated to like the heaven window,
yeah,
on the site, like you just potentially lose the bomb, and then you lose the round. But doesn't happen. ECSTATIC, the call to go over towards that A site actually came at just the right moment because Savage fully committed to the B rotate, and the information was relayed over by the one lingering player in Fasher. Heard all those steps above him, so understood that the B site was going to be heavily contested, so they just avert that instead. Wonder if this is going to prompt Savage to get a little bit more aggressive on their CT side to make sure that they have a few more areas of control to prevent ECSTATIC from going for some of this little push-pull dynamic between the two sites. Because that's one of the few times we actually saw them pressure the B site.
Oh. That wasn't a game sound, was it? No. Okay, fair enough. Right then. ECSTATIC are indeed going to go to the ends of the earth and beyond to make sure that they can try and bring this T side back under control. Peek from Twist could be troubling, and Bird from Sky with a Molotov out in his hand. He's going to be brought down. Twist can even back off. That's big. Shawzy's here. Smokes off the sandbags position. Pleasant peeking into Fasher would be a dastardly act. Unforgivable. I don't think you're going to see him here, Twist, but if he comes a little bit closer, maybe. Dafu now spotted out. Bomb's been dropped. Foam Fingers strike again, and as they're trying to retreat, Fasher can at least get one, but Twist with a spam is coming out hot.
Wolfie, 1-on-3 attempt now is... You could see Twist is fully repositioned over towards that alleyway position now as well. We'll smoke off one of these angles, but the miss on the AWP is just going to be too big a blunder. Twist, what a great hold from him. Just not only finding this opening kill, but then constantly re-aggressing. Even with Fasher trying to apply that pressure, just continuously pulling more and more away from ECSTATIC. They never let that A-ramp go for free.
Nutty. That's actually so nice. The way Twist is able to sort of exploit them. Initially, you know, you're just thinking to yourself, oh, it's just a Molotov in the hands of Bird from Sky. He's only been good for one, whatever. It's fine. You're still a 4v5.
I have to react really quick for that sandbag.
Yeah, I agree. And then after that, just making it all work out beautifully. That's one of those rounds that ECSTATIC are going to look back to if they end up losing this game and saying, okay, we need to really be much more aware of these things.
Yeah, crucially, they didn't have Wolfie holding the angle for Bird from Sky
Yeah.
as well, so...
That's what you normally expect.
That's what happened in a round prior as well.
Indeed.
I want to see them threaten this.
Time.
I want to see ECSTATIC threaten this B bomb side a little bit more, considering Savage have been able to cheat rotations over a couple of times. They still have to keep another player close by to make sure that mid lurk isn't an issue. But Bird from Sky hasn't been going for it in too many of these rounds.
Crocs is in a very frustrating position to actually play up against. ECSTATIC have got to be very careful about how they actually check into this. That flashbang's good, but they're not checking the angle. Grox is going to be able to get one crucial frag in with Twist finding Manx as well. A quick wall banging ensuring that. You're now having 40 seconds, very little utility, and a lot of map control forfeited over Fasher. Here's the player backing off, but that might just be Blessin here to finish him off. The second the smoke dissipates, Blessin should be good for one. He drops the bomb, but he's not quite able to make it too clean. Now, Chauzy stuck behind the default boxes themselves as he's trying to make sure Dafu can't cross over. He's enabled his own teammates' ascent onto the bomb site. And it all comes down to Twist, whether or not he can stop this bomb from being planted. What? Dafu, that's going to be an easy kill. That should have at least come through, but he's actually ending up using all those bullets onto the pillar instead.
I don't think he was expecting Chauzy to just completely disregard him, and the possibility of him just scaling into the bomb site from the main entrance. Thought he might reposition. Well, really solid stuff there overall there from Savage. I think good recognition as well about the fact that Chauzy is making audible noise, rotating away from ramp after the opening success that they had, and so really teased Plessin up for potentially 2 kills, but he only had an MP9, so you let him get 1. Timeout for ECSTATIC. Maybe they're in the discussions as well about pressuring the other side of the map. A couple Mac 10s, in fact, a trio. Oh, make it 4. So this is going to be a very quick round, it feels like. Is it a B-side rush? I'd love to see it. Right time to go for something like it, considering the economic choice that they've made. And I wonder whether Savage will be prepared for the pace. Instead, it is going to be an A-side play, and they just want to get in the face of Savage.
Plessin is indeed already there, but what's going on, Plessin? He's backing off. What team are you on, Plessin? But at least his teammates are able to sort of make up for it as well. Maybe a few too many players lost in the process. This is some synchronized dancing, if I've ever seen it. Wolfie, though, he's maybe hoping for some synchronized dying with Fasher, because Fasher's likely going to fall, although not without at least taking a man with him. Chauzy, close range angle on the op is going to be dangerous against the Mac 10. Suddenly there's a possibility. Fasher's got a kill, and now Chauzy in behind the smoke, Bush still pulled out. That's a USB. You need to get a headshot with that one, and Chauzy peeking out just got down. The Mac 10 to deliver an impossible victory. Fasher somehow brings it all together.
Oh man, this round was all kinds of crazy. It starts off as hectic as you could possibly imagine, but then Fasher, even when he's lost all of his teammates, extra damage, some missed shots there from Savage as well, but Fasher immediately capitalizes, takes space away, and players were tagged. They were relatively low, so in the 2v1, Fasher just able to isolate both fights so well. I did not think that buy was going to turn out that way.
I don't think ECSTATIC did either, to be honest.
Yeah, they were hoping to stampede, you know, completely run them over. Instead, it's heavy resistance.
And then one man's like, you know what? I can do a solo stampede. Yeah, that's the thing, right?
I've had enough of this. The strong ox.
Chauzy now really has to make up for prior indiscretions, let's put it that way. Someone had a great game so far, 5-9. We talked about how he was heating up towards the end of Inferno. That heat has now very firmly been turned off. The gas has run out. There's some cold hurts that are now over here.
Yeah, Max and Bird from Sky are both pretty low as well, so this is not ideal. See if Fasher can get that same level of entry dependency. No, that's the answer to that question. Grux spotting him just above that smoke. Now it's going to prompt a B push.
This is in a really strong position over here. White swings out over, was hoping to back off behind the super boxes, but he's not able to do so. Now, with the Molotov down, 20 seconds, smoke means that you've already forced Dezon back. Dezon wanted to try and push through behind the generator a bit earlier on, get a bit more contestable. Ops has been boosted up. Chauzy actually missing out on the boost initially, now missing out on a chance to get the kill. Will still be able to find Wolfie, so they're able to bring it back to a 4-on-2. Chauzy tagged up, and Bird from Sky nearby the generator will know because of the shadow where Dezon is as well, but Dezon just finishes them both off, wide swinging out, and can get the round back in control.
He's actually given a bit of a saving grace there, because Twist, if he was in a good enough position to actually take those fights over towards ramp, you know, he's actually quick switching as he's wide swinging, but it's a timing in which ECSTATIC are actually pacing their way into the bomb site. If not for that, feels like he's kind of lined up for 2 kills, but the reaction there as well for the retake, where as soon as that bomb is planted, they set up for the boost for a Savage. It just meant that Wolfie was always going to be at a disadvantage taking that fight as well from the stacked boxes on the bomb site. So good recognition and making sure that ECSTATIC can't set up in proper post plants. Back into scrappy buy territory here for ECSTATIC. A lot of SMGs.
Nice initial kill once again. Grux has been fantastic on this bomb site. Between him and Twist, it's been a vast majority of the rounds that have come through. Dafu, that's a mistake. You're still going to be in a disadvantage because of it, and now one that is extended further. Bomb drop in their favor as well. Separated by the flames, Wolfie cannot pursue straight back. Now he has to brute force his way out. He's good for the first. Is he going to be good for any more? Fasher and Wolfie, both players who've been really hard carrying ECSTATIC on this first half so far as the numbers go at the very least. But Grux's flank could just be the be-all, end-all.
Yeah, Wolfie was here so recently.
It. Yeah. Oh, Fasha. That's an instant headshot coming through. Wolfie as well will have to take the duel. Wolfie's good for the first. Now going back. Bomb still in a very dangerous position to try and recover, but while Savage are trying to navigate around the connector spot, this is where maybe Wolfie's got something to do with it. Trying to find all the utility imaginable. Smoke's going to be good to block off the op for a while at the very least. Chauzy is considering going for a push through. 25 seconds, and Wolfie still just being so careful with how exactly he wants to play this. He's not got the HP to really hazard any mistakes whatsoever. Bombs being planted as well, but Molotov from Chauzy could deny. It's going to be late. It's going to be late. It's going to be late. And Wolfie's already backed off, put himself in a great position. Grenades on the side as well, but doesn't really want to go forward and pick that one up now. He just wants to maintain position and cheat this one forward. And as they're going to be trying to go for the defuse, Wolfie needs to start spraying away. Chauzy is defended. Twist will protect, and although I don't know if that was needed, at least he guarantees that Chauzy can also keep his life for the next one.
Really giving Wolfie a lot of respect there. It actually felt like the flank for Savage should have just been the end of the round. If there's a bit of trigger discipline displayed there, basically talked about the advantages he has on that flank, where they were never going to be expecting that position considering how recently Wolfie had navigated that territory. Maybe that's not information that he had in the back of his mind. Either way, Savage are able to navigate away from it. More buys in from ECSTATIC, even with the extra money from the bomb plant. Bird from Sky, player moves right past him as they're full blind. And so Bird from Sky still going to be sussed out. Plesson, they would have never expected he would be up so close, but it doesn't matter. ECSTATIC have taken territory towards middle instead for the quick wrap.
Oh, Desmond's been able to spot it out. Twist good for the first, but the Molotov that he chucked forward to be more aware of the second prong that could be coming through is what ends up biting him in the behind. Twist can't reposition in time, and now you're on a 3-on-4, so advantage is there for Savage, sure, but this is a very difficult retake to actually get out from underneath them. The one big advantage you've got is the double incendiary, and where is that going to go out to?
Got the retake utility necessary. They really want to take these fights before Savage can set up properly.
Oh, good Molotov coming out of here. Manx is forced to reposition. There's too many players to deal with. He's already been traded out now. It's going to be a lot of damage dealt to Plesson. Wolfie's in a great spot, but he's traded too quickly. The double push forward. And now it's Fasha. He's had a few clutches before. And with Grux on the defuse, Fasha's got to take it away again. 6 secured, and Fasha keeps on delivering.
He got the exact kill he needed to. Just before that defuse is even threatened because the time was ticking so far low. Grux only had really one play. He had to commit to the defuse at that point over. When he even swung out wide, Fasher, just an easy head for him to rip clean off. It has really been these two men here on the side of ECSTATIC that have been pushing and propelling them forward. Manx as well having a lot of impact. There have been some
worse for wear, yeah.
There have been some balls dropped on the side of Savage. Let's not beat around the bush there. You know, they've lost to some of these scrappier buys.
Yeah.
In the situation where they are subjected to it. But they do find an opening here in the last round of the half. Big name to find as well.
Molotov is there, Bird from Sky has been met, and already a 5-on-3, a round that you could not afford to be losing out on, but maybe they're not going to be. Manx over here is tearing them up on the B-bomb site. Gets out all the info and all the trades necessary. Grux will not be rotating in time to be able to put down that utility belt. Pleasant in the meanwhile is going for a bit of a flank. He's combined forces with Grux, and they're relying on Dezon to be able to be at least a bit of a distracting force, but Dezon's missed out his opportunity. It's going to be a shot in the back and open to the darkness. Goodbye, goodbye. ECSTATIC are going to be putting themselves in a perfect position for 7, but maybe Grux can emulate that Fasher SMG success. Okay. Flashbang over, but Dafu shuts him down. 7 secured, and we're off to a break before we can see what the second half holds for us.
I think tonight's the night to live that party life. I'm ready to unwind. Let's get the music right. That's right. Toda la gente está
secrets, and I'll tell you all my lies.
And somehow, through multiple daylight robberies, through the crime rate of the city going up by God knows how much, through mayors being fired and whatnot, we just had ECSTATIC being able to get their way back up to 7. Fasher is in the most wanted list. He's been stealing rounds left, right, and center, Michael. And polls are up, and they're saying ECSTATIC the ones in favor for momentum.
Very long-winded analogy, but I do agree. They definitely got away with a few stealers. Savage setting a precedent nice and early in the pistol round, trying to put some presence on towards B, which was actually the winning solution for ECSTATIC towards the tail end. They started to actually pressure the B bomb sites, had some bit more success getting that bomb down. Took them a while to realize, see if they can transition the successes into the CT half. Bird from Sky does have a full belt of utility, plus the kit. And Fasher, it does spot them getting aggressive over towards A, so some early alarms here for ECSTATIC to rotate over, and they're rotating pretty heavily. 4 players en route.
They're going to be playing the full retake setup with a double grenade ready as well. ECSTATIC, the question, though, will always sort of be... Oh, okay, so this is an early nade maybe deployment coming through instead. Oh, I love it! I love it so much! Sick. Twist is going in for more, and now Wolfie on the other side is going to be brought down. You aren't ready for this, but Manx might just be. He's fighting away. He's got another one. Back to a 1-1-1. It's brutal. It's bloody. But most of all, it's savage. And ECSTATIC is ranked.
Man, that is so cool to see. Because ECSTATIC are playing for that retake scenario where they're setting up for those nades like you're talking about. But they go for a double nade right on top of one of the common lineups for that default plant. That's so cool to see.
That is nerdy. I love it.
And they never let them get comfortable either. Just kept pushing into that territory. It's like an absolute brawl.
I like that you go from sort of, oh, hey, beep, 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 beep. Okay, equations, calculations, this is the perfect spot to anti-shred, and then, Hulk smash.
It's like, you know, they like to play retake scenarios. They like to go for these double nades. Like, early Vertigo meta was pretty much dominated by a lot of that utility. Then it fell out of favor for a little bit. Now it's kind of rearing its head every now and again, because I think teams recognize you have to do a bit of both. And hell,
I love this.
It's such a sick anti-strat there from Savage.
That's awesome. Wow.
They ain't just a mixed team.
Indeed. I know what I'm asking about in that interview. If they
I
end
mean,
up winning, of course.
Yeah, I mean, you know what they'll say. Just want to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, of course. Like, I feel like players should be allowed to sort of revel in that opportunity afterwards in public. Is like, yeah, we're pretty good, aren't we? Yeah. ECSTATIC, however, I believe that the timeout call by Savage will have put them in a slightly sour mood as well. Fasher, however, is never one to stop killing people.
Pushing forward for the rifle as well.
Well, this is where the MAC-10 could actually end up cashing them off, though. So you have to be very careful with the sound cue. Give it away as well. Pleasant's right around the corner. He's not able to get the second kill, though. That's big.
Ran out of bullets. So at least they get their hands on another rifle here on the side of ECSTATIC, especially now it's into this 3-on-3. They do not have the same sort of resources to contest this bomb, though. They don't have a kit. They have the singular smoke, and that has to be deployed in the correct spot to at least segment one of these angles. Fresh smoke here for the T's as well, though. This is real difficult.
Oh.
Made noise as well, going for the boost. So they just have to jump through.
Oh, Fasher's at least able to trade over here. The double push forward is good for one. But Chauzy's in such a strong position. You've got some flashes as well, out and over. He's going to need to start spamming soon. Chauzy's all alone. The diffuser's coming forward. Wolfie's inside the smoke. You need to come through again. Chauzy starts spamming away. You better get it. Chauzy barely gets it done. Look like ECSTATIC had done it all, and it's right in the nick of time that Chauzy is able to sneak away with it.
It's like the last few bullets as well. He had to go for a full reload, and he still didn't line it up properly. It's really, really close. There's about 5 or 6 bullets left in the magazine before things get too dicey.
There is a reason why the default plant exists, put it that way.
Yeah. Found every possible angle. Eventually found it. Just buys on buys here for ECSTATIC. So many SMGs have been comfortable to go for a few of these, especially moving from that T side. A couple flashes to try and set up Wolfie, but no one's actually capitalizing on the space. No one's going for the peak on ECSTATIC.
Max is already dead. Wolfie and Bird together with their forces combined looked like they were going to get a bit of advantage, but Twist and Dezon are still able to keep things in their favor. Dezon's been an absolute beast as well. We've been talking so much about Fasher and Wolfie that sometimes it's easier to forget about what a player Dezon's been all throughout this game, not just in this map.
I mean, you can see the idea here from ECSTATIC. They just want to commit more and more resources towards this A-side fight. After the first flash, you know, nobody's actually taking the space, but they set up for the second, and that's what enables Wolfie to go for that wide swing. It's kind of crazy that Savage are actually able to compose themselves in enough time that they're able to deal with not 4, 5 players taking all of these duels. They have to be completely alone.
Pleasant peeks through. Wolfie's been found and brought down. Chauzy's got a second as well. Pleasant wants to keep this going. He's been having mixed results so far in the alleyway on the T side, but you know what? He's able to get one, and Twist can find the second. And Michael, you know how we're saying buys on buys on buys? We're getting pretty close to saying goodbye to ECSTATIC as well if they keep on losing up these rounds. Oh no!
How has he gotten another one through the smoke? So, I mean, in this round, they're getting aggressive. They're taking all these fights. Fasher's chilling inside of that alley smoke and waiting for his right time to go. Basically, fall back into the bomb site. You know, try and give up the idea that Fasher isn't there, that there is no presence. Maybe that's the idea, but ECSTATIC just keep taking the duels, and Savage are there to punish almost every one of those fights. Finally, ECSTATIC will bend the knee because they've just been full buying off of every bit of loss bonus that they've had in the past few rounds. They realize it's a little bit too much of an effort. If they've been able to get away with one, it would have slingshotted their economy back, but it was a losing stock. That's not the lineup. So Pleasant should know that that's thrown on the fly.
Pleasant just being chilling here as a lurk.
Just sitting on top of it.
Gray screen, I've got a gray screen. And it's just gonna be when it dissipates. Pleasant's coming through, and now he's dead. Michael, gray screens are not great nursery rhymes.
No, no. I don't think you were very creative about how that one even played out.
I
feel like you
honestly
need to
thought
work-
I'd had like another 10 seconds.
You know,
for that
workshop
one
the
to build
lyrics
up
a
and
little
figure out,
bit.
Yeah, but then it just immediately dissipated. Like, well, never mind.
Oh, what are you going to do when Savage come for you? That's the big question here for ECSTATIC. This is supposed to be their home field, their home territory. They got hard anti-stride in the pistol round. Talked about some of the tendencies of the ECSTATIC T side as well. Some of that was the homework that Savage had prepared. Picking into Vertigo might have been a mistake. God, he never even got a chance to really take a fight. Up to 13 in the blink of an eye. A couple chaotic rounds at the start of this half, but making the follow-ups look a little easier. ECSTATIC now with proper weaponry, proper utility, something that was a drawback in some of these earlier forces that they went for. This is the right time for them to right the ship.
Right now, they're going to have to find some way to stop it from tipping down under Shores. He's just got the first. And Pleasant, well, he's always a bit of a dastardly little man. He's able to creep through the nooks and crannies, and now he's found another equalizer. And Manx, however, is the one who'll give them the advantage on the season side. But Deson in a very solid position, just not one he's able to capitalize on. He knew that that's where Manx's retreat path would be. But the trade's unsuccessful, and now Pleasant is all alone. Can he be the dastardly devil once again? That is a bit of a tall order. Molotov, that's not a thing.
Yeah, misaligned. It did Molotov off that close cubby, so he doesn't have to clear
Well,
that if he still goes B, I guess.
There you go.
It works for something. All these goddamn edges. Who put these stairs there?
I swear there was an elevator back in my day.
Hell, there are elevators, but this building ain't complete.
Well, maybe one day. Maybe one day. Pleasant, however, is this going to be his day? He's found the first one sharp on the entry. Into mid, he's got the bomb. Let's not forget that fact. And as ECSTATIC will be trying to rotate back, Pleasant's got an area which he can try and exploit as he's trying to come through from the back lines. 18 seconds. He's backed off completely. This is going to be a bomb plan at the very least, and he's got a full belt of utility as well on top of it. This is, I mean, he's going to be able to guarantee the plan at the very least. No, never mind. Never mind, he doesn't have it.
It's
going to be right at the nick of time. It's going to be right at the nick of time. Okay. Barely gets it. Now the question is he going to be anticipating Manx to already be in position? No, not quite. Yeah.
So he had to speed up for a couple different reasons there. One, because of the actual time pressure that he had, but also the longer he waits, the more ECSTATIC are going to start thinking like, oh, yeah, he actually has this path towards the A bomb site that we didn't consider. He could have wrapped through spawn. He could have gone just through elevator instead. Basically, they were going to be in a quick response scenario, so speeding up would have probably worked out for him. But he didn't know where both those players were. Didn't know that both of them were committed to the B bomb site instead. So it's always a hard one to gamble on.
Yeah, that's also where you have to commend ECSTATIC for sort of just cutting noise in that position and just saying, okay, you know what, we're going to play whichever bomb set it is afterwards. We're in a 2-on-1. We've already lost at the first one in a 3-on-1, so let's not try and give up information and hope that he'll make the mistake. And that's exactly what ends up happening. Pleasant makes a bit of a mistake. I personally thought he wouldn't be able to get the bomb plan either, but yeah.
Oh, upper hand on the fight, but still, Grux worse for wear. Dafu, quick adjustment, and Fasher's gone aggressive as well over towards Ali. Two men down in an instant. Fasher caught in no man's land, couldn't escape either, so there is a kill in response at the very least. Ooh, Molly in, they know where Wolfie is. That quick deployment of the smoke didn't come from anywhere else, so nades will follow. And Bird, oh, he tried to provide some support, but the ult of Pleasant has struck again. They cannot clear out Wolfie too easily. They don't have a follow-up nade.
Dafu even spots out the second player over there, so they know there's at least two in this position. And as they're backing off, problem is Deson's all the way over to B, and he can get aggressive, just hold off rotations from coming back in. And if they commit to this B bomb site, he's such a difficult player to actually cheat past. 45 seconds. CTs have got to realize, and with the smoke being deployed, they surely will. But no, the peak is punished. Manx try to get ahead of it. He's had a great CT half so far, but a bit of overzealous endeavors. But Dafu's well aggressing through. He's got 2, 3 in the cards, and Blessin ends up falling. Dafu just pushes onwards, and they're not ready for him at all, not covering the angle in the slightest.
Just brute forces his way through it. Just takes fight on fight on fight, swinging punches. And Savage didn't have their guard up. Man, that's certainly one way to get the retake going. Don't even have to get that. Can't even get the bomb down in the first place. Dafu doesn't let them get comfortable. Yeah, such a good performance on Inferno as well. Another one of the threats that ECSTATIC had running in operation, even if that map did go astray. A key part of some of the trickier, hell, dicier rounds that they have, and now he gets them out of another tricky position.
We're also in a spot now where we're entering into swing ground territory. Wolfie, he's just gone, and so is Bird from Sky. Fascia has got to step up in their absence. Flashbang forward from Dafo's going to set up for him to go for the peak. Flasher unable to find anyone there. The 2 players who are still on ramp are pretty safe and looking to get out of there. Leaving 1 lurker in the back lines. Banks now. He's also rotating away. No commitment so far from ECSTATIC. Banks needs to be very on point in this position. Double smoke being lined up. That's likely going to be for the sides of the generators, and that's exactly what ends up coming through. One side blocked off. That allows them to actually traverse forward. Manx is spotting out the first player. Dezon takes the first duel out. Manx is able to trade, yes, but the bomb's not been dropped yet or revealed for that matter. And 30 seconds on the clock. The call's been made. It's back over to A.
Yeah, and they'll have enough time to get this one planted as well. We talked about some of the timings that ECSTATIC went for this long rotate, but there's enough wiggle room that Savage will feel comfortable. ECSTATIC cannot rotate into this action. They have to think about their economy. So many rounds in which there's been a lot of casualties, so not able to build a bank even with them striking a bit of winning ways. Not even going to be allowed to save. Dafu's gone, and Manx surely not far behind. Chordsy looks for it, and he'll find it as well. No saving grace, no extra rifles to work off of. We talked about Inferno and how many dropped rounds there were from Savage's T side to a couple of saved rifles for ECSTATIC. That is not the case anymore. And again, we see them having to make this consolation. Hey, we have to run with 4 SMGs. They had a round like this on their T side that they were somehow able to win. So maybe there is some success still to be had.
Oh, Sky has been dropping out a few too many times. Really had a bit of a rougher game so far. Now with Twist as well. Still popping off. He's been a key man for Savage to have gotten this far, and look, we're on the brink of kicking ECSTATIC down to the lower bracket. Manx has been so important on CT side, maybe not necessarily the most influential in the first half, but over here he's been doing everything. Can he do it again is the question. And MP9's his only friend, and the T side is dropping around him, but he will still be unable to finish that one off. Wolfie aggresses in. Dafu, last man alive, and a 1-on-4, an MP9 and a grenade at his feet. Dafu's got nothing he can do over here. Smoke deployed as well. Would have to pull off some Fasher-esque shenanigans if he wants to be able to pull this one away. And no, not quite. Pleasant guarantees the 15th round with a 4K of his own.
Oh man, there's just so many threats. It's so difficult because I think both teams we understand that the composition is there for any of them to perform. I think ECSTATIC do a good job of teeing up their teammates in much the same way that I think Savage are fully exploiting that. But Savage, I think, demand less resources, and so when it has come down to some of the resource management for ECSTATIC, the constant force buying has been a bit of a horcrux for them, a bit of a difficulty. Needs 6 straight now to threaten the overtime, and I don't know if it's possible. Pleasant, some damage exchange, brought to low HP. Bird from Sky will go in for the kill, but Chorlzy's there for the trade. So still into a 4-on-4 where ECSTATIC, the biggest thing that they need to be able to leverage is resources, and players are a resource.
Look, that's more than worth it for the trade between them at this stage ordinarily, but with the firepower being this limited, it's very difficult to sort of justify even that, though. Savage has got all the time in the world, and now all the damage in the world on the Fasher as well. Anything more, and, well, he's a dead man.
Yeah.
Maybe Wolfie can do something. Strong performance from him. Has really slowed down the CT side, though, and that's been a big problem for the ECSTATIC squad. Wolfie looking to get aggressive. Molotov being jocked forward, but he's traded out in a straight 1-for-1. Nothing that he can do in this position. Fasher's got no HP. Try to play an angle, but that angle's dead. It's a nade at his head. That finishes him off. There's nothing they can do on the CT side. The entries just keep coming in. Manx is pushed out to the USB. The one-on-one that he has to win, but Grox backs off. Grox backs off. And he's even committing to the bomb plot over here. Manx is actually rotated all the way over. He has an opportunity, but the bomb is stopped. They just not quite dialed in. 19 HP on Grox. Retreat guaranteed by the smoke, but not really looking to commit to it. Manx is still around in the vicinity. 19 HP, and the foot that's visible. Manx will keep them alive. Barely.
Oh, keeping Grox on his toes. Constantly repositioning between the two angles to contest that site. And you could see the difficulty that Grox had reading into it. Trying to get that plant down in the safest possible position, but Manx, nice little fancy footwork to keep ECSTATIC in this one. So many dangerous moments, so many close rounds on Vertigo, and still Savage have a decent amount of distance. Sure, ECSTATIC have got themselves up to double digits, but 5 more rounds needed straight. How many times, though, have we seen Savage get kills with utility? Kills with nades. Some of it has been full reads, some anti-stratting. But just having that little touchdown to finish off Fasher as well really opened up the bomb site. Even though he was so low, we understood that a piece of utility had to finish off the job. Would have at least been the ideal solution.
And I have to start to wonder, is there a lot of anti-stratting going into this, because this map Vito is not one. It's one that, realistically, Savage is the one who had full control over. The Vertigo pick from ECSTATIC was always going to come through. Savage gets to pick whatever they want in the first one, so Inferno's one where, you know, you get to see how good they are at playing into ECSTATIC style. Now, Bird from Sky has been downed and finished off.
Had a really rough game.
Yeah, he's been struggling. 5 and 24 right now. 41 ADR, and that's going to be going down lower later on. Wolfie, though, good for 2. He's been fantastic, and so is Fasher. Now, Fasher doesn't want to overstay his welcome, just backs off after getting that kill, and with the bomb drop, the T sign has to be very careful. Oh.
Good awareness there from Manx. Make sure that Twist had to fully commit and clear the angle. Grux will find one in response. There is a solitary fight to find. Fasher around the corner. Headshot angle, so Grux's HP doesn't really play a factor. Flash in, but Grux, it doesn't get blinded by it. Player rotating into his crosshair will be Manx, but it will be another kill found. And so ECSTATIC, keeping things afloat, keeping things competitive, and making sure not to give up those isolated duels in an easy way. Put some pressure now onto Savage to be able to close out, because getting to 15 can make you feel a little comfortable. Yeah, I just wanted to highlight that Bird from Sky. Yeah, he's had a tough game, and he's usually a pretty big component of both their CT and T-side operations. We saw this level of impact he had on Inferno. That's something that's been absent in the series so far, but he has all of these extra pieces that have been firing, putting up a lot of good numbers.
Ooh. Dangerously close to actually landing over there on the wall battle. Desmond's been able to go. Oh, he's able to walk all the way out. The contact gets 2. It's the immediate return of any advantage they had. Now the only one that's there lies in their guns, and that's a flimsy one at best, especially with Shawzy on the other side. You're peeking into him, and Shawzy's just got to Manx all alone. He has been the deliverer so far, but a flashbang at his toes and a smoke to cover him off. He'll push right through, but 16 has found Savage. Will win it out 2-0. Not the team maybe expected to go forward, but they do it in style. We're going to go to a bit of a break right now. When we're back, we'll have Twist on for an interview and a bit more discussion about the match before we can move on. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.